So yes, CERN, my layman's view, okay, for today. Right, in the school laboratory, right, if it smells, it's chemistry, right? If it wriggles, it's biology, and if it doesn't work, it's physics. It's physics. But if it does, whatever you do, don't change it. And that's a general rule at CERN. There are so many times when physics appears not to work, right? 'Cause it's just one of those subjects, right? You either grasp it or you don't. It's like your maternal language or Chinese, okay? And sometimes it will always stay like that. You'll never grasp it. But at CERN, yeah, if it works, don't change it. Okay, one of the commodities which is requested from CERN stores, and it's a huge stores of everything, right, is Scotch tape. Because if Scotch tape works, hey, don't change it, right? That's good. And there's Scotch tape all over the place, right? There's reams and reams of Scotch tape used every year at CERN, just to show how high-tech can be incredibly low-tech too. Okay, yeah, wriggly. If it works, yeah, if you want to try it, yeah, have a go, right? And if it works, keep on going, right? Don't change it, whatever you do, because you've always got somebody, oh, it works, but what if we do this? And then somebody turns a knob and everything disappears. From the screen, it goes blank, you know, and you, oh no, what did you do? Who touched it? Why did you unwrap it so quickly? Why did you do that? If it works, don't touch it. Next one. Okay, Geneva Airport. Okay, did you guys fly in or come on a coach? Geneva Airport, okay. CERN is up here. Okay, this is the border, Switzerland, France. These are the Jura Mountains at the back. This is one of the accelerators from 40 years ago, okay. And this is what is now called the LHC, Large Hadron Collider. Okay, now what they do, why this is on here, is they pump the beams into smaller ones on site, which turn at a certain velocity because of the diameter, right? And then they pump it into a bigger one, and because it's a bigger diameter, the velocity grows, right? Then they fire it into this one, and then the velocity goes like outer space almost, okay? So that just gives you an idea of the size of it, where it is. It cuts under, you know, habitational areas. It goes under the mountains partly, almost goes under the airport. Maybe next slide. Okay, yeah, this is one of my favourite pictures. Okay, this is CERN, this part here. Okay, you can see one of the smaller boosters here. Okay, the rest it all comes off here like that. That's the Selev Mountain, which overlooks Geneva. Those are the Alps at the back. And I live just behind here. If that, there you can see the lake. Okay. And surprisingly enough, snow is not there all the time in Geneva. In the last 30 years, I've only been bothered like 2 or 3 times by snow. Okay, so which is really good. As long as it stays up in the mountains, that's good. Okay. And just to prove that I actually was there, right? I'm very camera shy. Okay, so these are pictures from a long time ago. This is your one and only. Okay, here. You probably can't, which is good. I got my wife jacket on actually. And this is about 1986, 1990. And this is a project not for the LHC, it was before then, because the LHC underground tunnel was built for the LEP, which is a large electron positron. And this was for an experiment called Aleph, okay, which went on to discover W and Z0 particles, which build up the jigsaw of particles for everybody to understand, right? And this was just a part. Okay, this was a machine I helped design and build to make a barrel of 5mm thick mylar plastic, which is a transparent plastic which is very good under electrical conditions. Okay, and what we did, we made a big machine and we wound it round in a bobbin like that, overlapped every one, made it up to 5mm thick, and there had to be no bubbles in the glue, none, because bubbles ionized inside and caused lots of problems. But from the center of this barrel, they set up something like 500,000 volt electrodes on one side and one on the other side, and it wouldn't go through. It just went right down to the end and came back then to the other side. Okay, just to show how insulating it was. Okay, so that's the machine. There's a bobbin there. It's a machine what mixed glue and then pumped it up and then we roll it on. So that's just proof that actually was there. Okay, next one. Back. Okay. France, Switzerland. Okay, underground. It's all underground. The LHC is all underground at an average of 80 to 100 meters underground. Okay, and at strategic positions there are huge holes. I'm talking about holes underground which are like 60 meters high, 80 meters long, all excavated out by the construction part of CERN. And in these holes are where the main detectors sit. The more famous ones are Atlas. You might have heard of Atlas, because it was Atlas and CMS which together confirmed the existence of the Higgs boson. Okay, why was it good to have two machines doing the same thing? Well, if you've got two people saying the same thing, it's better than just one, right? But there are other machines, and they do similar things, but also have the capacity to look for different things. Which is why in March, when they started up again, it's going to double its power, okay? Because it's only run at 3.5 tel, that's tetra electron volts, which is, don't know really, it's just very, very high voltage, okay? And it's a collider, so when it collides, when you've got 3.5 colliding with 3.5, what do you get, power do you get? 7. What it's going to do is going to do 7 and 7, so it'll go up to 14, which is way beyond anything what's happened since the Big Bang. Okay, so we're taking it right back, okay, even further. So it will collide at these positions, and the beam thickness is 1/4 of the diameter of a human hair. Okay, now the technicians who run it have to make it that small. They have to tune it like a car, right, to get it down to smaller and smaller, and that's called luminosity. And when every day they're like on your computers you get, oh, the luminosity for days, something to the power of something. So everybody goes, ooh, great. What does it really mean? Oh, well, I don't really, but it looks good, okay? Now, to go down is pretty impressive. You guys got a chance to go. You didn't take a chance to go down because what's above ground is just buildings. It's when you go down here and into the chambers when you realise what it's all about. These machines are huge, okay, and they're looking for the infinitesimally small. Okay, I'm talking about machines of a diameter of 30 meters by 50 meters long, weighing 15,000 tons. Okay, in the Atlas here, the detector weighs 15,000 tons, and the base was built with a slight curve. So when the 15,000 tons sat in it, it sat flat. And that's the type of precision they were looking for. They had to take that into consideration. They had to take in consideration that the TGV comes every day. Because when the TGV comes, they can feel it. Okay. Next one. Okay, there's what the tunnel looks like. These are the dipole magnets, which, well, the circumference of the machine is 27 kilometres. Okay, it's about 3 metres in diameter. See, it's not very big, the tunnel. It's cooled to 1.9 Kelvin. Any idea what that is? Really, 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 really cold. Okay, it's really, really, really cold. Why? Why do we cool it down? Anybody got an idea? Yeah. Okay. Atoms start to slow down and stop at Kelvin, 0 Kelvin. They don't move. Okay. And it travels at nearly the speed of light. Okay. Now, the general agreement is that nothing travels faster than the speed of light, right? Apart from the Enterprise. And okay. But last year, actually an Italian group said that they'd seen some neutrinos travelling from CERN to a laboratory in Italy, because they shut it underground, because neutrinos go through everything. They're bombarding us now. They go through the Earth, the other side, they don't touch anything, don't leave any trace. And they said that some of the neutrinos were going faster than the speed of light. And everyone went, no way, can that be true? And it wasn't true, because they hadn't taken into considerations finite details. And the poor guy, well, he didn't do Harry Carey, right, but he quit CERN in embarrassment and probably sweeps the floor in Tesco's now, or something like that. Okay? But just to say how important it is to be right, to have two people confirming the same thing, to make sure that your machine is perfectly set up. We're talking about things which are aligned to microns, 1,000th of a millimetre, okay? How do we get around? If you're lucky, you've got a motorised bike. If you're unlucky, you're walking. So you've got to walk 5 miles to where you're going to work that morning. You better remember to take your toolbox with you, your screwdriver, because the road bike is a long way. Okay. Anybody seen Angels and Demons? The film? Read the book? The guy when he pulls his eye out and that's how you get in. That's probably the only thing true about CERN. Not pulling your eye out, but there are eye scans. It's retina scanning to get down, right? Now the easiest thing is to pull somebody's eye out and push it up, because every time I went to it, it was like, right, you go in, it's like, stand there, okay, right, and then I go, refused. What? No, and you go out and you got to get back behind 20 people, right? So you get back, come with refuse. Who's on the desk today? It's Fabiola. Fabiola, it's Adrian. You know it's me, let me in. No, I can't let you do that. Put your eye up to the thing. I am putting my eye up to the thing. Right? And to get down into where the detectors are, there are 3 of them. And then you walk down the tunnel 5 kilometres, and you haven't got your screwdriver. You're better off staying down there for the rest of the day and waiting till time's up, okay? Because it wasn't easy, but there are reasons for that. It's high radiation. You can't be down there when the machine is running. It will kill you within seconds. Okay, if there was a problem and there was a leak of hydrogen or nitrogen, there are security reasons, and we do security runs to rush out, to keep your head up because of one hydrogen, keep your head down because of nitrogen or something like that. Right. Okay, and the pressure is 10 to the minus power 7 Pa. Anybody got any idea of that? A lot. Okay, next one. Right, the other thing for CERN, World Wide Web. Okay, oh, you got it on your smartphones, right? CERN is the place where the World Wide Web was born, and it was born by and created by an English guy called Tim Berners-Lee, and a French guy who helped him. and it was to help transfer physics information between universities and institutes. It's to use the existing internet, which was built by the Americans, as a military thing, just in case we had a war and we had to talk to each other. How are you? I don't know. Okay. World Wide Web came out round about 90, but actually Tim Berners-Lee, he actually proposed an idea to the CERN directorship in 80, and it was refused because it wasn't a good idea. Imagine that one. Okay. Now they had lots of names at the beginning, 3W, World Wide Web, blah, 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 but it is now like, the World Wide Web next. First web page, okay, created by Tim Berners-Lee. That was it. Okay, yeah, you could click on the highlighted things, and about 3 hours later, you went to the page, literally. And the first search engine was basically alphabetical: A, B, C, D, E, S, P, S, sport, F, football, Burnley Football Club. A picture of Burnley Football Club. All right, let's download this picture. And then come back the next day and hope that it's downloaded. It used to take 24 hours to download a picture. Okay, yeah. Well, now you can click, it's downloaded in seconds. But we were encouraged to search and create with it. And that's what we did. I mean, I must admit, I played a lot on the web. Okay, and we jumped around all over the place creating junk, looking at junk, and I still do, which is okay. Okay. Next, maybe. Okay. Quickly, this is the Atlas experiment. That's the size of people, just to give you an idea of the size. Okay, 6 foot man. That's the size. Okay, and this is in the underground cavern, right? And there's not much space below, there's not much space above, at this end or at that end. It's crammed with the machine. Okay, now I did a lot of my work in the last 10-15 years was in this area. Okay, which is a barrel type shape. Okay, which is a barrel type shape, about 3 meters in diameter, carbon fiber, and it was made up of straws going lengthwise. There's 600,000 straws going lengthwise, and at the ends they were like bicycle wheel spokes, right, with another 600,000 straws going out like a bicycle, and each straw, diameter of a normal McDonald's straw, had a wire going down the centre, precisely in the centre, had an inert gas with it, and when the particle comes through, it touches the wire, makes contact, the gas just favorises the contact, okay, and then gives a signal. So if you've got a series of these in a line, in a plane, X, Y, Z, right, you can track the movement of particles, okay, but those 1,200,000 straws were all handmade, right, and I worked on the first set of straws. They're all reinforced so they don't move under pressure, temperature, humidity or anything, but they're all handmade. Lots of Russian ladies put wires down the centre. It's cheap labour, right? We were talking about cheap labour, right? And that is a feat of engineering beyond measure. It's like going to the Mars, landing on Mars, okay? And it works to perfection. It took them a year to learn to use the LEP, which is the original machine. It took them only 3 weeks to get this working to perfection. That's how good the machine is, okay? Okay? Just to give you a size. Next one, please. Okay, Lego. If you want to have a go for it. I wouldn't suggest it because you're not fathers yet, but you will be in a bit. When your son comes home and he's got one like that and he says, "Dad, can you build that for me?" And you look at it and you think, "Oh no." Yeah, we don't just mess around with real stuff, we mess around with fun stuff too. Okay, next, what else will we get? Okay, this is this inner barrel thing. These are modules, and these are all the straws at ends here. If you can see that modules are all different, there are 3 rows, And that's so that when a particle goes that way, it is sure that it will touch a particle. It aligns in such a way that it can't go through and not touch nothing. Okay, but that took us a year of study and to position those straws so that that would happen. And it's not just by hazard, it's a year's work. Okay. Okay. I did a lot of work with plastics. Plastics as in scintillator plastics. Any idea? Nope. Scintillator plastics is a special plastic, transparent. Okay. And when a charged particle hits the scintillator, it then emits photons on the inside. Okay. Photons, light. Okay. And because it's highly polished on the inside and outside, the inside surfaces appear to be like mirrors. So what does it do? Just reflects and bounces off. Okay. So what you do is you build a scintillator. This was one which took me forever to mill. I must have done about 20 of these, because when you machine this stuff, especially on the inside, because this is a little tube, little like glass, it turns to chewing gum. So you can imagine what that's like, and it heats up to about 150 degrees in like 5 minutes, and then it starts to crack because it's got too hot. So I must have made about 20 or 50 of them before I got it right. So the particle comes down, charges, emits it, bounces all over the place, go back, and then goes out and is collected by a plexiglass, clear plexiglass, light guide, guides light. It's like a funnel, waving at me at the back. It's like a funnel, and it guides it to a photomultiplier, which multiplies the light because it's so little. Okay, and then it's just an old form of detection. Okay, carbon fibre, this is one of those modules, what you saw with the straws. I made this, the first one. Okay, the first prototype which I made is being used now, but I made 20 years ago. Okay, this is more of the light guide stuff. This is a project called AMS, which is in space now. Now I didn't make that, right? Okay, that would be a really big boast. But I worked on the first prototyping of it 20 years ago. So this project's not like for 1 year, 5 months, 6 months. It's 20, 30 years work. The Higgs boson is 40, 50 years work. Okay? Which helps me lay the claim to I work for NASA. On my CV, which I don't need anymore because I retired. Okay, next one, quick. This is my office. This is where it all happened. Obviously a computer with a web page open. Okay, a big bag of jelly bellies there, root beer jelly bellies, bits and pieces of tools, of course. Okay, a bonsai which I actually gave to David's wife, which is no longer of this world, which I just brought back from death. Okay, and I spent basically 30 years in that same office. Okay, messing around. Okay, it was good fun. It was one of the first buildings at CERN. Next. 60 years last year. CERN is 60 years old. It was built because all the science was going to America after the war, and scientists with it. So European guys said, look, we can't do this, else we'll have nothing. We have to do something. CERN was discussed, put into shape in 1954, and from there we've got 60 years. Anybody know what CERN means? Nobody.
It's French.
It's French, yeah, I know. What a good question. Conseil européen de la recherche nucléaire. And it's kept the logo all these years because of that. It's world known like that. It actually goes under the title of something else now. European Laboratory for Particle Physics or something like that. Okay. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.